All right, deciding when to leave your child home alone for the first time, wow, it's a huge milestone, right? It's this big step towards independence for them, but, let's be real, it's also a moment of major anxiety for us parents. So, how do we actually do this right? That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to build a clear, practical plan that'll make them safe and hopefully make you feel a whole lot more confident.
I mean, this is the first question every single parent asks, right? Is it 7? Is it 9? 12? We all go searching for that magic number, that one-size-fits-all answer that just tells us, yep, it's okay. But what if I told you that the real answer has almost nothing to do with their birthday? And this right here is the most important thing to get your head around. The crucial point isn't how many candles were on their last birthday cake, but how prepared they actually are. You see, readiness, it's a skill, not a number. And the best part, it's something we can actively teach and even measure. Okay, so let's really break down what we mean by readiness. In this first part, we're going to focus on shifting our whole mindset, moving away from just a simple number to a set of real-world skills and behaviors. So look, we've all seen those typical age guidelines, right? And sure, they can be a rough starting point, but the real story is about behavior, not birthdays. So think about it. Does your child show responsibility? Do they actually know how to use a phone to call for help? And maybe the biggest one of all, can they follow the rules when you're not looking over their shoulder? That's what readiness is all about. All right, so once we're focused on readiness, the very next step is to build on that with a crystal clear set of rules. And I mean crystal clear. There can't be any gray areas here, no wiggle room. This is the absolute foundation of their safety. And this foundation really has two parts. On one hand, you've got the can-do list, things that create a safe, contained environment for them. But the cannot-do list, that's non-negotiable. These aren't just suggestions, they are hard, absolute rules designed to get rid of the biggest risks, like messing with the stove or, and this is the big one, opening the door to anyone, period. Okay, listen up. If there is one single phrase your child needs to have memorized, like absolutely burned into their brain, this is it. It's so simple, it's direct, and it covers the two most critical things, staying inside and keeping that door shut. This needs to be their mantra. Now, this is probably the number one fear for every single parent out there, and for a really good reason. It's the most unpredictable part of the whole equation. So, we are not going to leave this to chance. Nope, we're going to give our kids a precise, step-by-step game plan to follow. So let's just picture this for a second. Your kid is home alone. Suddenly, they hear a knock or the doorbell rings. Their heart probably starts pounding a little, right? So what do? Do they panic? Do they hide? No. They follow the plan. And the plan is actually incredibly simple. It's just 3 clear rules of what not to do. The whole goal here is to avoid engaging at all. Distance and silence are their best friends in this moment. And this isn't about being polite, okay? This is about being safe. Because by not engaging, they don't give away the fact that they're home alone. Okay, but what if the person just doesn't leave? What if they're persistent? Well, this is the next level of the plan. You need to teach them this one powerful sentence. My parents are home, but they're busy. It's perfect because it signals an adult is there without being confrontational at all. And the second they've said that, or even if they're too scared to say it, their very next move is to call you immediately. So yeah, the stranger at the door is a huge risk, but it's not the only one. A really solid readiness plan has to account for other things that could happen. Anything from just feeling scared to, say, smelling smoke. Every possible scenario needs its own simple, clear playbook. And look, the crucial thing here is access. This list of numbers has to be impossible to miss. I'm talking taped to the fridge, saved as a favorite in their phone, whatever it takes. And you have to practice this. It's not enough that the list exists. They need to know how to call and what to say when they do. This list is literally their lifeline. We also have to plan for the emotional side of being alone. It's totally normal for a kid to get scared by a weird noise or just that quiet feeling of being by themselves. And we all know that just telling them don't be scared is completely useless. What works? Giving them a plan. That's what's empowering. And the first step of this plan? It's always the same. Call you. Seriously, your voice is the most calming tool they have. The other steps, turning on some lights, getting cozy in a favorite spot, that's all about giving them back a sense of control over their environment. Okay, now let's shift gears to a true emergency. We're talking about a situation where their immediate physical safety is on the line. Their response here needs to be just as automatic, but the priority is different. So again, calling you is the first instinct we want to build in them. But in a situation like a fire, step 2 is the most important thing in the world. Get out. You have to teach them that their safety is more important than anything else. They absolutely need to understand when it's okay, when it's necessary, to break the stay inside rule to escape a real danger. So, we've covered the rules, we've covered the emergency plans, but you know what? None of that matters if we don't teach it effectively and, just as importantly, test it. So this final section, it's all about your role as their coach. And I want you to think of a readiness checklist not like some kind of pass-fail quiz, but as a really practical tool. It's what helps you move from just hoping they're ready to actually knowing they are. It takes these big, abstract ideas like responsibility and turns them into real, concrete things you can actually see. So how do you build these real, lasting skills? It's a 3-step method. First, your rules have to be absolute. No sometimes, no maybe. Second, you have to practice. Seriously, role play what happens when the doorbell rings. Make it a game. And third, repetition, repetition, repetition. This stuff isn't a one-time lecture you give them. It needs to be an ongoing conversation. All right, now it's time for a little honest self-assessment. I want you to ask yourself truthfully, could my child, even with all this training, still open the door? Could they break a really important rule? Could they get totally flustered in a crisis? Could they freeze up and just fail to call you? Now, if the answer is yes to even one of these, listen, it doesn't mean you failed, not at all. It just means there's a specific risk we need to work on before they're truly ready. And really, this brings everything full circle back to our main idea. Preparing your child to stay home alone, it's one of the greatest gifts of confidence and competence you can possibly give them. It's never been about reaching a certain age. It's always been about building the skills to act correctly when you're not there to supervise. So the final question isn't, are they old enough? The real question is, have we prepared them enough?